Hello, Booktube, and welcome to Tag Tuesday. This is the day that Booktube sets aside to do tags, and today I have a tag all about tags. Roz at Scaly Dandelion about the books made a tag yesterday, it tagged me, all about tags, about doing them, and thinking about them, and planning for them. And I saw that she tagged me, and I thought, oh, well, that's great. You've already bothered people with enough videos for today, so you'll just do that tomorrow. And when I came back onto Booktube, I saw that it had gone viral, and bids fair only to go more viral, and that makes sense. Not only because Scaly Dandelion is one of everybody's favorite Booktube channels, but because tags are a universal thing on Booktube. So it's a natural thing to talk about. So I thought I would do it. I've watched quite a few of the tag videos that have cropped up since I saw Roz's, but I haven't watched them all. And it's just a quick series of prompts about tags, which is a thing that we do here on Booktube that is in many ways synonymous. It's a very old thing on Booktube and a very odd thing. When I talk with friends of mine who don't know anything about Booktube, but who are gradually becoming aware of the fact that I spend time on Booktube, one of the first things that always comes up is tags, and it's one of the things that mystifies them the most. What? You tag each other? I don't know what to say. I never know what to say to adults who've allowed their sense of play to atrophy. I never know what to say to such people. But the first prompt here is tag first. Did you do the Booktube Newbie Tag? And if not, what was your first tag? Do you choose to watch Newbie Tags? For those of you who are new to Booktube, the Booktube Newbie Tag, there's actually two iterations of it that are best combined. But one way or another, there's a standard Booktube Newbie Tag that is something that I agree with Brian at Bookish when he did this tag, that it's something that every new Booktuber really should do. Not as an act of conformity, but because it is a great way to plug you in, not only to the bigger Booktube ecosphere, but also to Booktube creators who are starting out just as you are, right at the same time that you are. If you search YouTube in the search bar, Booktube Newbie Tag, you get thousands and thousands and thousands of responses, and you can sort them. You can sort them by month or by week. I do that search at least once a week and sort the results by week, most recently, and then just watch a bunch of them in a row. And I admit I can't turn the critic part of my brain off, so when I'm watching Booktube Newbie Tags, a part of my brain is just racking up good points and bad points, so which is not really why we're here, I admit that. Nevertheless, a part of my brain is saying, okay, you made an ostentatious point of stopping everything in order to slurp some beverage. Or, okay, you're using that weird tone that so many YouTubers use, but a lot of booktubers use it too, that weird, fake, alien, carny barker tone, that fam, y'all tone, that we're gonna get right on it. How you doing? How's everybody doing today? Are you doing great? Are you doing fine? I really hope you're doing fine. I really, really, really do. If you talk that way in real life with a friend at a table at a restaurant, they would immediately stop the conversation and say, what the hell is wrong with you? Did you have some sort of aneurysm? And yet, there are booktubers out there who think that is a good way to behave. I'm on camera, I must be fake. It's just part and parcel. If I'm on camera, that means I must be fake. How you doing? How's everything going, fam? How are y'all? Let's get right to this after my intro and after my ads. I watched to see if a Booktube Newbie Tag is doing that, because I don't need to watch any more of those things. I already have enough of those things in my subscription feed. I watch to see if the person is nervous in an endearing way, that Booktube is a home, a magnet for introverts. And I don't mean to burst into giggles every time I use that word. I do find introverts a little funny. I have adopted a number of them in my life. But nevertheless, the nervousness in some Booktube Newbie Tags is evident and endearing. And also I watch for differences. Right, for every once in a while, every week, at least a few times every week, in the results garnered by the Booktube Newbie Tag, you will find a genuinely new voice. One more grain of sand filling in the mosaic to make Booktube an accurate representation of the infinite variety of readers that are out there. That was my main concern about Booktube when I first learned about it. Watching videos and thinking, okay, well, not only are these videos all alike, but they don't reflect the variety of reading out there at all. And I wish they did. And Booktube is much closer to reflecting that reality now than it was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And every new voice helps with that. And that goes hand in hand with the fact that if you're going to be a new voice in Booktube or anything else, you shouldn't be imitating other voices. But I did do the Booktube Newbie Tag. It was my first tag. I believe it was my first video, except for, I think, Cam at Page Nomad pointed out that my very first video is just a mistake. It's just me saying, it's just me being a 100-year-old man saying, what's that mean? that got uploaded and never got taken down. I don't think I ever have taken that down. But the first thing I did was the Booktube Newbie Tag, which was filmed by Chris Rhodes, who was a booktuber at the time and who thought that I would make a good fit on Booktube, thought you should have a Booktube channel. And what was the other one? No, that was it. That's all. I did the Booktube Newbie Tag. I hope that it was my first. It should be my first tag. And I watch Booktube Newbie Tags religiously to find new people. And I encourage if you are new to Booktube or if you are thinking about it, do the Booktube Newbie Tag. It's not conformist. It helps people to find you, which is the whole point. Anyway, prompt number 2 is tag emotions. What feelings do tags provoke in you? Tag joy and delight, tag boredom and resentment, tag guilt or anxiety, even tag envy. I often feel tag envy when I see somebody create a really good tag and not tag me because they hate me because I smell. But tag guilt? I was raised Boston Irish Catholic. If you're going to successfully guilt me, you're going to have to be Olympic level at guilt, at the Olympic level sport of guilt. Maybe on a good day, Courtney Farrader could do it, but most of you are pikers. By comparison to either Irish Catholic mothers or the chosen people, you're pikers in comparison. So there's nothing on Booktube that can make me feel guilty. No. But the other emotions, tag joy and delight, I feel very much so, yes. Brian at Bookish on his channel mentions that this is just fun. This is just a fun thing. It's a joyful thing to watch, to be included in, to include others in. It's a joyful thing. I like tags because they briefly, in the midst of all the cacophony of a million different bookish conversations that we've got going on, in the midst of all of that, tags periodically force us to talk about the same things. And that enhances the differences. That is extra interesting for me. Even when a tag is at its most derivative, as we'll get to, I'm still fascinated in seeing, okay, what answer are you going to come up with? It's not only puts more books in front of my face, but it also gives me more insight into the person doing the tag. I just think they're incredibly fun, which explains why I have done so many of them. Prompt number 3 is tag favorites. What kind of tags do you like most and least to do and to watch? I love tags pretty much across the board. The one kind that I don't do, religiously just don't do, and that I don't particularly like is a very old kind of tag. I would say probably the original kind of tag on Booktube, which is people talking about characters in YA fiction as if they were real. And it's just endless questions like that. You know, you're alone on a Saturday night. Who do you call? You know, Talon from the Wilderness or Ariadar from the Red Watch Guard. And oh my God, and if I call one, we're going to talk all night long and be besties. And I call the other, she might kill me. But oh, she's so hot. That sort of thing just doesn't do it for me at all. Not at all. But all the rest of them, oh my. All the rest of them, I love them. I don't pick favorites at all. I'm always interested to see what the next tag is going to be. I think I would probably agree with, again, Brian at Bookish. And a bunch of other people, that the personal tags, the ones that poke a nose into your business, are probably my favorites, but I'll take anything, almost. Prompt number 4 is tag style. How do you tag? Do you have a system for keeping track of when you are tagged or tags you plan to do? Do you prepare to do tags or just wing it? I don't prepare to do tags except the ones that require me to go hunting around in my bookcases. And those are a lot of fun. Knowing that I am doing such a silly thing and that a bunch of other people are too is so much fun. That is so much fun to do. To take the iPad with the questions and say, what would answer this one? What would answer this one that you haven't already talked about, or that you feel like talking about again? What would that be? But as for a system, I don't have a system. I leave a lot of that stuff just to memory, where I will watch a tag, and I confess that at this point I don't pay a whole lot of attention, certainly not dispositive attention, to whether or not I myself have been tagged. I really don't do that anymore. If I see a tag that I think is interesting, I don't wait for someone to tag me. I'll just do it myself. But beyond that, there is no system. And then prompt number 5 is tag memories. Of the tags you've watched, done, or created, which have stuck in your memory? Are there any that you would like to revisit or revive? Of the ones that I've done, the ones that stick in my memory are the ones that just got away from me for rampant ranting. There was a literary fiction tag that I think Alex at What Page Are You On tagged me specifically because he thought it would get my goat, and it did. It did. And I went nuts all over the genre, the subgenre of literary fiction. There was another one. Also, I think maybe Provocative Juan at Just One Reader tagged me in the Freudian tag, and I went nuts. I just went nuts for the whole thing. I told myself in both cases, I know you won't believe this, but I told myself in both cases beforehand, now don't let ranting get the best of you. And it did. It just absolutely did. I lost control in both cases. And one tag that I remember watching that I really liked is one that, again, Brian at Bookish mentions, his own original tag, Booktube at the Gym. Not many booktubers go to the gym, I would guess, and his is hilarious. His tag is hilarious. If I remember correctly, I'll leave a link to it down below. And also, just recently, there's a tag going around called the Content Creator Tag, the Booktube Content Creator Tag, and Olive at Book Olive did it, and hers is incredible. As high a bar of expectation as I had for her version of that tag, she exceeded it easily. Really an amazing, heartfelt talk about being a big booktuber. Worthwhile for every new booktuber to watch because it's so human. So I'm gonna go with those. I'll try and remember to leave a link. I don't think I need to link to my own rant fest. But the last thing is to tag other people. And I've heard now in a few tags that this is the part of tagging that is nerve-wracking for people. And I agree with that. And I wonder how many of you do too. When I'm doing a tag, I'm having a blast until I get to the part where I have to tag other people. And then suddenly a whole bunch of variables come in. Do I tag this person too often? Does this person, in my case, does this person maybe not like me? And maybe not want to be tagged by me? Or does this person not do tags? And you've been watching their channel and you've been really enjoying it, but you haven't noticed that one thing you've never seen is a tag, and so on and so forth down the line. Those questions come up, and they remind me of a comment that Sean the Book Maniac made last year. I think it was last year, where he commented on this very thing and said, what we really ought to do, the way we really ought to think of this, is that a tag, you do it and then you release it into the wild. You don't tag anybody specifically, although that undermines the very name of the thing. Instead, you release it into the wild and tag everybody to remove that anxiety and to make sure you're not excluding anybody. And I also thought of Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading, just recently did a St. Patrick's Day challenge where we are enjoined, those of us who are on Booktube and maybe are lucky enough to have an audience, are enjoined to shout out some people who have much smaller audiences. Not because the subscriber number is everything, but if you're new to Booktube, brand new to Booktube, and you have 50 subscribers, let's say you have 50 subscribers, and you make a video and you pour your heart and soul into it, let's say you're the type of booktuber who edits and who maybe adds effects or does a script or makes a lot of preparation for your video. You put a lot of work into it, and you publish it, and it gets 2 views and then 2 more views. Your subscriber count doesn't move or goes down, God forbid. As much as I am the first to admit that subscriber counts really are overvalued on Booktube, they shouldn't mean what they do. Nevertheless, that's pretty dispiriting. Whether it's justifiable or not, whether it's legitimate or not, it's a genuine shot in the arm for a smaller booktuber to get that burst of, oh, there are people out there, and oh, they are responding. So I wholeheartedly agree with Kelly's challenge, her St. Patrick's Day challenge. And that led me for a while to think, well, maybe I should just tag Booktube Newbies. But again, that brings up the question, all right, maybe someone has organized their channel, thinks about their channel in a way that they're not going to do tags. Well, then what do? Then you've tagged somebody and put an obligation on it. In other words, the long and the short of this is that I want to try, again, just tagging anybody. If you have a Booktube channel, obviously this is for people who have Booktube channels, I think, I urge you to do this tag and to let me know that you've done it and to let other people know that you've done it. Let the people you know, if you watch Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, for instance, a great channel. They, I think, did this tag. If you watch their channel regularly and they didn't tag you because nobody knows you exist or because nobody knows that you want to do tags or whatever, mention that you did this tag as well in the comments of their video or my video or Roz's video. It's typically viewed as a bit crass, a bit pushy in YouTube etiquette for you to leave the link, and it's also a bad idea because often YouTube will just strain out comments with hot links as spam, so I won't see them anyway. Instead, just mention that you did it. You know, your avatar, your little avatar clicks right to your channel, so you just have to mention it. But that's the way I'm going to do this one for now. I don't know how rotten it will make me feel. Maybe I'll go back to naming people with my next tag. But that's how I'm going to do this one. It's just to tag everybody. Just if you want to do this tag, I think it's fascinating. I would love to hear the answers of anybody who has a Booktube channel. So that's Tag Tuesday for today, unless I feel like doing another tag. There's one other I have my eye on, but I also need to make a tag. I haven't made a tag in a while, and I want to do that. So maybe next Tuesday. But anyway, I'll see you soon. Thank you, Booktube.